Samsung is back with a new A-series mid-ranger, the Galaxy A36. Is this a competitive phone to get in 2025? I'm Will for GSM Arena, and let's find out in our Samsung Galaxy A36 review. Samsung seems to have honed in on a standard design and feature package for many of its phones, including the Galaxy A30 series. But that's not to say that there aren't any changes here compared to last year. The A36 has a larger screen, a Snapdragon chipset, and a new selfie camera. Plus, there's now 45-watt charging. Another change is that this year, Samsung has included the durable Gorilla Glass Victus Plus from the front side onto the back as well. You'll also notice that the cameras are unified into an island this time around. You still get a plastic frame. And while the phone is a little bigger than last year, it actually weighs less. The ingress protection hasn't changed. The Galaxy A36 is rated at IP67 against dust and water. Like I mentioned, the screen has gotten bigger. It's 6.7 inches instead of 6.6. Again, a 1080p OLED with a 120Hz refresh rate. The display has gotten a bit brighter than last year. We measured a maximum of about 430 nits with the manual slider, which can boost to over 1230 in auto mode. The A35 could do just over 1000. Besides that, this screen performs just the same as before. The smooth 120Hz refresh rate is adaptive, able to dial down to 60Hz when the screen is idling to save energy. And the display looks good overall, with plenty of sharpness. There's again no official HDR video support here. The phone has a pair of stereo speakers for your audio, with good loudness. The sound quality is also good, with solid vocals and bass, and okay highs. You can listen for yourself and compare through the link below. The Galaxy A36 has an optical under-display fingerprint reader for biometric input, and is quite responsive. For storage, the A36 comes with 128 or 256 gigs of storage on board, but unlike last year, this is not expandable through microSD. The interface of the phone is Samsung's latest One UI 7 on top of Android 15, and the A36 actually comes with a lot of the software features you'd get on the flagships. What you don't get here are Samsung's DeX and the full suite of AI-based features, but there are still a few on board. For example, there's Google's Gemini AI Assistant, which packs plenty of functionality. There's also AI Select, which can analyze the screen's content in detail and offers actions like grabbing text or photos on screen and creating wallpapers or even GIFs. The Object Eraser is available too in the native Gallery app, and it works okay, but not quite as good as on the flagships. If you'd like to find out more about One UI 7's specific features, you can check out our dedicated video. And notably, Samsung has really extended the software support for its new mid-rangers. The Galaxy A36 will get 6 major OS updates and 6 years of security patches. Rather than an Exynos chipset like we saw last year, the Galaxy A36 uses one from Qualcomm, a Snapdragon 6 Gen 3. There isn't a huge difference actually. In benchmarks, the A36 earns roughly the same scores as its predecessor, except for a minor boost in raw graphics scores. Overall, the phone is far from a powerhouse, but the performance is adequate for the price, and the A36 runs smoothly for daily tasks and light gaming. And as you might expect from a phone with a modest chipset, the A36 doesn't run hot, and it went through our prolonged stress test without throttling. The Galaxy A36 has a 5000 mAh battery, and the battery life is decent, but a bit less than last year's model. In our battery life test, the phone earned an active use score of 11 hours and 38 minutes. One of the more notable upgrades this year is support for 45-watt charging instead of 25 watts, but the increase in charging speed itself is not as much as you might think. Using a 45-watt adapter and a proper cable, as the 3-amp one in the box doesn't cut it, we were able to charge the A36 from 0 to 60% in half an hour, compared to 52% last year, and a full charge was only 12 minutes faster than the previous model. On the back of the phone, you get the same camera setup as last year, with a main cam, an ultra-wide, and a macro camera. There has been a change in the selfie camera though. The new front-facing cam is 12 megapixels. So why not start off with selfies then? This is an upgrade. The image quality is excellent here, with good detail bringing out facial features and nice skin tones. The dynamic range could be better, but it's not a major issue. Moving on to the main camera. The overall quality is solid, with plenty of detail and a nicely wide dynamic range. Shadows and highlights are well developed too. The colors are not exactly true to life, and have a bit of extra pop to them. Our main gripe is that the exposure and color rendition can be inconsistent at times, especially if the lighting isn't perfect. The main camera is competent when handling people and faces. Textures and skin tones both look very natural. There's no telephoto cam here, so you'll be using a digital zoom. At 2x, there is a bit more sharpening added, and some surfaces are softer, but the results are still decent. In low light, the A35 uses an automatic night mode, but this doesn't trigger unless it's quite dark. Without it kicking in, you get a good amount of detail, but there is some visible noise present. We had to toggle on the dedicated night mode to see its performance, and with it you have less noise and better preserved highlights, but some details get smoothed over. Now the ultra-wide cam. For this type of camera, the performance is decent, with enough detail. But again, the colors and exposure can vary from shot to shot. Low light shots from the ultra-wide camera are rather soft by default, and like with the main camera, the night mode doesn't tend to trigger by itself automatically that often. Toggling it on results in extra sharpening and better dynamic range, and we prefer these results. The Galaxy A36's macro cam takes decent close-ups. At 5 megapixels, these come out better than those competitors with a 2 megapixel macro. The A36 can record video in 4K with this main and selfie cameras.